Right. Welcome to our deep dive into the law of attraction.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah, you had some really interesting sources for this one, too.
I did.
One that caught my eye especially was a YouTube video. It's actually in Hindi.
It is, yeah.
By a creator named Cool Mitra.
Cool Mitra, yeah. He's got some good stuff.
So I think maybe just for our listener, let's start by laying out what the law of attraction actually is.
Okay, so it's been getting a lot of buzz, but it's kind of hard to define. Basically, it's the idea that, so in other words, your thoughts can actually shape your reality.
Okay, so if you're thinking negative thoughts, you're more likely to have bad experiences.
Yeah, exactly. And on the flip side, if you're focused on the positive, you're more likely to attract good things into your life.
So I can see why that's a really appealing concept, but I can also see how some people might think, well, that's a little far-fetched.
Right. It can be a little slippery.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this deep dive so interesting, because we're not just going to skim the surface here. We're going to go deeper with it.
Okay, so you mentioned Cool Mitra and his video. What is it about his take on the law of attraction that made you want to include it in this episode?
Well, he doesn't just present it as some kind of wishful thinking or magic, you know?
Yeah.
He actually argues that it's like a fundamental principle that's always at work in our lives, whether we're aware of it or not. He uses this analogy of gravity.
Oh.
You know, like gravity is always there, whether you understand the physics behind it or not.
Right. It's always working.
Exactly.
So, okay, I'm interested to hear more about Cool Mitra's perspective. But before we jump into that, I think it's worth addressing, like, the elephant in the room here, which is some people just find the law of attraction, well, illogical.
Yeah.
Like, where's the evidence for it?
Totally valid concern. And you know what? Cool Mitra actually addresses that head on in his video.
Okay.
He brings up some pretty interesting examples, especially from successful people in Bollywood.
Oh, okay. So this is where that Hindi YouTube video comes in.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm curious, what kind of celebrity stories does he talk about?
Well, he brings up actors like Ranveer Singh, Deepika Padukone, who've talked about how the law of attractions played a role in their success.
Okay, now those are names that I recognize.
Right.
Tell me more.
All right, so take Ranveer Singh.
Okay.
Cool Mitra tells this really cool story about how, as a birthday joke, Ranveer's sister replaced Shah Rukh Khan's picture with Ranveer's...
On a poster?
On a Dilwal Dulhania Le Jayenge poster.
Oh, wow. DDLJ? So like the ultimate Bollywood romance.
Exactly. A classic. So she basically, you know, put his dream on this poster.
It's like she manifested it for him.
Yeah. And get this. Years later, Ranveer ends up acting in a film by Yash Raj Films, the studio behind DDLJ.
Oh, wow.
It's wild, right?
Okay, but I mean, is that really the law of attraction or is that just coincidence?
Right, and that's exactly the point Cool Mitra makes.
Okay.
He's not saying the poster magically made Ranveer a star.
I mean, Ranveer himself has talked about how he had to put in the work.
Right.
You know, develop his skills.
Of course, he had to work hard.
Right.
So, I mean, does this mean that the law of attraction isn't about replacing effort, but more about, like, aligning your actions with your goals?
That's a really good way to put it, yeah.
So maybe it's like the poster set an intention, and then Ranveer's hard work, like, met that intention halfway.
Yeah, and, you know, it's kind of like what Deepika Padukone has said about the universe conspiring to help you achieve what you truly desire.
Okay, so we've got these, like, Bollywood A-listers who seem to be, like, backing up this idea.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not just a Bollywood thing, right? I feel like I've heard similar stories in Hollywood, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
You're right. This idea, it goes beyond any one culture or industry.
Right.
I mean, what about Jim Carrey, remember?
Oh, yeah. He's a great example.
Years before he made it big in Dumb and Dumber, he wrote himself a check, like a literal check.
Oh, yeah, for, like, millions of dollars. For $10 million.
Yeah.
He visualized it, believed it, and boom, it happened.
Okay, so that's a pretty, like, tangible example, right?
It is.
It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess my question is, do these success stories actually prove the law of attraction?
Right.
Or are we just seeing patterns where none exist?
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy to focus on the success stories.
Right.
But what about everyone who, you know, visualizes their dreams and doesn't achieve them?
Right.
So are they just not believing hard enough? Yeah. Or is there something more to it?
Yeah, and maybe it's not just about positive thinking, but also about
action. That's a big one. that Cool Mitra keeps coming back to. He keeps talking about the link between your thoughts and your actions and how they work together.
Right. It's not enough to just sit around and visualize winning the lottery.
Exactly. He uses Conor McGregor as an example.
Oh.
You know, someone known for, like, his really strong self-belief.
Right. Very confident.
But McGregor also emphasizes that you can't just be positive when things get tough.
Yeah.
You have to, like, actually keep pushing forward, you know, adapt.
Right, take action.
Okay, so it's this combo, right?
Yeah.
Positive thinking kind of sets your direction, and then action is what gives you momentum.
Exactly.
But what about when things don't go our way? Does that mean we're just, like, not attracting the right things, or we're not believing hard enough?
Ooh, this is where it gets really interesting, and where Cool Mitra's ideas go beyond, like, the typical law of attraction stuff you hear.
Okay.
He brings up Denzel Washington.
Oh, okay.
Who said, we attract what we focus on, whether positive or negative.
So even if we're putting in the work, but we're constantly, like, worried about failing, we're actually attracting that failure.
That's what it sounds like, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's not about, like, ignoring those negative thoughts or pretending they don't exist.
Yeah.
It's more about understanding that even those thoughts have power.
You know, and we have to be careful where we're pointing that power.
You know, this whole idea of thoughts as a force,
Yeah.
as, like, something real.
Yeah.
It makes me think of something else that Cool Mitra brought up about quantum physics.
Ah, yes. That was a good part.
Yeah.
He was basically saying that even science is starting to recognize that thoughts can have a real impact on, like, reality.
Okay, hold on. Quantum physics.
Yeah.
Now we're really going down the rabbit hole, but I'm here for it.
So some physicists actually believe that our thoughts create, like, vibrations.
Okay.
And that these vibrations can actually influence things at, like, a subatomic level.
Okay, so how does that tie back into the law of attraction?
Well, if you think about it,
Yeah.
quantum physics suggests that the universe is, like, way more interconnected than we thought.
Right.
And if our thoughts really are creating these vibrations,
Yeah.
then it makes sense that those vibrations could be attracting experiences that, like, match their frequency. Just like the law of attraction suggests. It's like...
So, like, if we're constantly vibrating with, like, fear or doubt,
Yeah.
we might be unintentionally attracting experiences that confirm those feelings.
Exactly. It's not like our thoughts are magically creating every single event in our lives.
Right.
But they might be influencing our perceptions, the opportunities we notice, even how we react to different situations. It's like tuning into a radio station, you know?
Okay.
The frequency you choose determines what you hear.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think I'm starting to get it.
Did.
But if this law of attraction thing is always working, whether we're aware of it or not, doesn't that mean we're all just kind of at the mercy of our thoughts, even the ones we can't control?
That's where awareness comes in.
Okay.
That's what Cool Mitra says.
Yeah.
He argues that when we understand how the law of attraction works, we can actually start to consciously direct our thoughts.
Okay.
And therefore, our experiences.
So it's not about denying the negative, but about choosing where we put our attention.
Exactly. It's like becoming more mindful of your thought patterns and actively choosing to, like, cultivate positive thoughts
Right.
and beliefs.
But how do we even know what we truly desire? Our thoughts can be all over the place, especially in today's world where we're constantly bombarded with information
That's so true.
and distractions.
Yeah, and that brings us to another really important aspect of the law of attraction.
Right.
Clarity of intention.
Didn't he touch on that earlier with the Ranjir Singh story?
He did.
Like, the poster was like this playful way of putting his desire out there,
Yeah.
but he still had to put in the work.
Exactly.
So what does that mean for the rest of us?
It means we need to, like, go beyond these vague wishes
Okay.
and get super specific about what we want to manifest.
So it's not enough to just, like, wish for success or happiness.
It's not enough, yeah.
What does success actually look like for me?
Exactly. What does happiness look like for you?
Yeah.
And that can take some real soul searching.
I can see how journaling could be really helpful here.
Well, absolutely.
Like giving yourself the space to kind of unpack those deeper desires.
Yeah, and you know, Cool Mitra didn't specifically mention journaling, but it totally aligns with what he's saying about aligning your thoughts and actions. By writing down our aspirations, we're not just dreaming them.
Right.
We're starting to, like, give them form,
Yeah.
make them more real.
It's like we're turning those fuzzy wishes into, like, concrete goals.
Exactly. And even the act of writing itself can be powerful.
Right.
It can help to, like, solidify your intention, to make it feel more real,
Oh.
and to increase your commitment to actually taking action.
Okay, I like this journaling idea.
It's a good one.
But let's be real. Just writing things down doesn't guarantee that they'll happen.
Of course not.
Right. We still got to do the work.
Absolutely. The law of attraction is not like a magic wand.
Right.
It's more like a roadmap.
Okay.
It can show us the way, but we still have to walk the path ourselves.
So it's like a collaboration.
Yeah.
Our intention sets the direction. Maybe the universe opens up possibilities. But we still need to take the steps, make choices, put in the effort.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
But this whole thing about the universe opening up possibilities,
Yeah.
that still feels a little mystical to me. Like, how does that actually work?
It's a good question.
Is there any scientific evidence for this?
Well, it definitely asks us to stretch our understanding of how the world works. Remember what we were talking about with quantum physics?
Yeah.
Some physicists actually think that consciousness plays a role in shaping reality.
Okay.
And that there's this deep interconnectedness between everything in the universe.
So maybe those coincidences and lucky breaks aren't so random after all.
Maybe not.
Could it be that our intentions are somehow influencing the fabric of reality, making certain things more likely to happen?
It's a cool thought, right?
Yeah, it is.
And it's one that science is still trying to figure out. But even if we don't totally get how it works, there's something really powerful about believing that we're not just isolated individuals, but active participants in this larger cosmic dance.
I like that, a cosmic dance.
It's beautiful.
It kind of makes you feel like we're all connected.
Yeah.
Like our individual journeys are all somehow intertwined.
And maybe that interconnectedness is what allows our intentions to ripple out, not just affecting our own lives, but the world around us too.
Okay, this is getting pretty mind-blowing.
I know.
But before we get too lost in the cosmos, I want to come back to something that Cool Mitra emphasized, which is that even our negative thoughts can have a powerful impact.
Yes, he brings up that Denzel Washington quote again.
We attract what we focus on, whether positive or negative.
Exactly.
Okay, but how do we deal with those negative thoughts? They pop up for everybody.
They do.
Do we try to just push them down, ignore them, or is there a better way to work with them?
That's such a good question, and that leads us to a part of the law of attraction that people don't talk about enough.
Oh.
How to actually work with the full spectrum of our thoughts and emotions, including the negative ones.
So it's not about pretending to be positive all the time.
Exactly. Trying to deny or suppress those negative thoughts can actually backfire.
Okay.
It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. Eventually it's going to pop back up.
Right, with even more force.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's the alternative? How do we navigate these negative thought spirals without letting them completely derail our efforts?
So instead of seeing negative thoughts as the enemy that we need to fight, Cool Mitra suggests we view them as messengers.
Messengers. Okay.
They're trying to tell us something.
Okay.
Maybe they're pointing to a limiting belief that we have.
Okay.
Or an unresolved fear or an unmet need.
So if someone's constantly worried about money, maybe it's a sign that they need to address their finances or maybe explore their beliefs around abundance.
Exactly. By paying attention to those negative thoughts and asking ourselves, what are they trying to tell me? We can learn a lot about ourselves and figure out where we might need to make some changes.
So instead of resisting these negative thoughts, we can actually use them to learn and grow.
That's the idea. It's about transforming those negative thoughts into opportunities for self-awareness and positive change.
I love that, turning lemons into lemonade.
Yes.
Using the energy that we don't want to help us move towards what we do want.
And that speaks to the transformative power of the law of attraction. It's not about pretending the negative doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging it, understanding it, and then consciously choosing to focus on the positive.
This is making me rethink everything I thought I knew about the power of our minds.
It's powerful stuff, right?
It is.
And it's not just some self-help technique. It's a whole philosophy that makes us question our assumptions about reality.
It's amazing how much we've uncovered just from this one YouTube video by Cool Mitra.
I know, right? He's got a lot of good stuff.
It's been so interesting to see how he connects these ideas from Bollywood stories to quantum physics, all while emphasizing the importance of actually taking action.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
And I bet you're already thinking about how you can apply these ideas to your own life.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure our listeners right there with us, soaking it all in.
I hope so.
So we've covered a lot of ground today. The power of positive thinking, the importance of action, the role of quantum physics, and even how to work with those negative thoughts that pop up.
We've been busy. Anything else we should touch on before we wrap up this deep dive? We've explored some really deep concepts today, but there's this one question that I keep coming back to, and it's something that Cool Mitra's video kind of hinted at. Does knowing about the law of attraction actually make it more effective, or does it work regardless of whether we're aware of it?
That is a fascinating question to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, if it works, whether we know about it or not,
right?
Are we all just like unconsciously manifesting our reality all the time?
It's a pretty wild thought, right?
Yeah.
And if that's true, does understanding it give us more control? Or is it more about just like aligning ourselves with a universal principle that's already at play?
Yeah, it's almost like we're just swimming in the ocean this whole time, unaware of the currents.
Yeah.
And now suddenly we're like, oh, wait, there are currents.
Right.
Maybe we can't control the ocean.
Right.
But we could at least learn how to ride the waves.
I like that. That's a good way to think about it. And maybe that's where the real power comes in, not in trying to like force the universe to do what we want.
Yeah.
But in like understanding how it works and working with it.
And so maybe it's less about like making things happen and more about becoming like conscious participants in a process that's already happening.
Exactly. And it goes back to that idea of interconnectedness. You know, realizing that we're not just these isolated individuals struggling against fate.
Right.
We're actually part of this like larger web where everything's influencing everything else.
You know, as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I'm struck by how the law of attraction is both empowering and humbling at the same time.
I agree.
It suggests that we do have a role to play in shaping our reality, but also that we're part of something much, much bigger than ourselves.
It is a paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about taking responsibility for our thoughts and our actions,
Right.
but also acknowledging that we're not in complete control.
Right.
There's a balance between intention and surrender.
And maybe that's the key to really harnessing the law of attraction.
Yeah.
Like setting clear intentions, taking inspired action,
Yes.
and then trusting the universe to kind of like work its magic.
Beautifully said. It's like aligning our own desires with like the greater good and then allowing the universe to handle the details.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this whole concept.
I know, right? It's a deep one.
It is. It's so deep. There's always more to explore.
There is.
More to learn.
Always.
More to discover about the universe and the power of our own minds.
It's an ongoing journey.
It is.
Well, I'm already looking forward to our next deep dive into the unknown.
Me too. But for now, I think we've given our listener plenty to chew on.
We have. I hope they feel inspired to keep exploring the law of attraction.
Yeah.
And maybe even try out some of these principles in their own lives.
Yeah, experiment a little.
See what happens.
And who knows, maybe we'll circle back to this topic again sometime in the future as we learn more.
That would be fun.
It would.
Until then, I hope our listeners' journey is full of joy, abundance, and that all their dreams come true.
What a great way to wrap it up. To all our listeners out there, keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep questioning and keep creating the life of your dreams.